Okay, welcome to the FCC General Radio Telephone Operator License with Radar Endorsement Test Preparation course. Again, congratulations on taking this course. What is an FCC GROL with radar endorsement? Well, it's a fine complement to the FAA AMP certificates. It is even good as a standalone license. Expanded opportunities are available for GROL holders in the land-based, mobile, aeronautical, and maritime industries. Brief history. The telegraph, or Morse code, is invented in the early 1800s. A great new medium was born. The Titanic disaster in 1912 motivates the government, the Department of Commerce at the time, to regulate the communications industry. World War I reserves early radio communications for government use only to facilitate winning the war. After World War I, general radio use proliferates. By 1926, private radio companies bend the rules, altering frequencies and power settings with impunity. In 1927, the FRC, Federal Radio Commission, formed to control this chaos. By 1934, the FRC was expanded to control the various forms of electrical communications. This resulted in the abolishment of the FRC and the creation of the FCC, the Federal Communications Commission that we know today. So, who needs a GROL license with radar endorsement anyway? Okay, well, ship radio and radar station operators, all coast radio stations, all hand-carried units used to communicate with ships and coast stations on maritime frequencies, all aircraft stations and aeronautical ground stations, including hand-carried units used to communicate with aircraft, international fixed public radio telephones and telegraph stations. So just what is a general radio telephone operator license anyway? Well, it is required to adjust, maintain, or internally repair FCC licensed radio telephone transmitters in the aviation, maritime, and international fixed public radio services. A radar endorsement extends the above privileges to the repair, maintenance, or internal adjustment of radar equipment. The license is issued for the lifetime of the holder. So here's some radio law, operating practices, facts, and this is element 1. We're only going to go into a little bit of this today. You need element 1 to use the privileges of the Marine Radio Operator Permit, which are incorporated in the FCC General Radio Telephone Operator License. Then you'll be studying element 3. Element 3 is basic avionics theory. Okay, so you can answer all kinds of questions like that when you sit and take that exam. And then if you want to add the radar endorsement, that will be element 8, and that comes much later on. Okay, Global Maritime Distress and Safety System. GMDSS, are automated ship-to-shore distress alerting systems using satellite and advanced terrestrial communication systems. This system is coordinated worldwide by the International Maritime Organization. Special frequencies and call signs are employed to facilitate rapid transfer of ship distress. And we'll get something soon. Okay. Maritime radio operator permits are not maintenance related, but grant authority to operate licensed radio stations in the aviation, marine, and international fixed public radio services. Individuals whom are not able to send, receive correctly by telephone, spoken English, are ineligible to receive a commercial radio operator license. This includes the mute and the deaf, sadly. Persons with other handicaps may be found qualified with applicable restrictions. Okay, maintenance logs must be kept on licensed commercial radio equipment. The operator responsible for the maintenance on a given unit must be the one to make accurate log entries, specifying what was fixed and the steps taken to make the repair. The person in charge of maintaining the correct operation of a commercial radio station must post or have in his or her possession an original or copy of his or her or whomever license. This shows proof of competence and technical expertise of the individual while on duty. All messages relative to the immediate assistance required by a ship, aircraft, or other vehicle in imminent danger are referred to as distress traffic. A maritime mobile repeater station is a fixed land station used to extend communication range of the ship and coast stations. A repeater automatically retransmits everything it hears, adding strength to the original signal and extending its range. Public correspondence telephone service is a repeater station. That's an example. Okay, and here's a diagram showing this type of setup where you have like one base down here and it's able to keep contact with like a ship here, a ship there, another base here. So this way all, radio communication, especially distress traffic, can be related to one base or another, regardless of one's range, their actual range. Just like when steamship Titanic went down, they transmitted as far as they could. Their transmitter happened to be one of the most powerful in the world at the time, but it only goes so far. Then it's up to other bases or ships to pick up the transmissions and, transmit them further to gain further assistance. Anyway, that concludes this presentation. All right, had it been an actual classroom lesson, naturally I'd be in a bigger room. I'd be standing, walking around a little bit to maintain, interest and eye contact, and we'd have a bigger a presentation on a board or screen. And I thank you for watching and hope to work with you further. My sincere appreciation. Have a great day.